All righty, Spencer Kyte back on keyboard. Kimura here for the second half of the weekly Friday double dip. It is the Keyboard Kimura betting show for UFC Vegas 73. As always, before we get into this week's picks, we start with a look back to last week's results. So UFC Charlotte, we had $730 leave our pockets. We brought in $726.91. So we lost $3.09. That's not bad. I mean, it's certainly not great. I don't want to lose money ever. But if I'm going to lose, like $3 is better than $30 is better than $300. Now, I could sit here and say, if I didn't get too cute with it and try to go Anthony Smith chasing the finish in round one, we make some money because that's $150 out the window. But of course, hindsight is grand. We still came out a little bit short, but not as bad as it was the week before. Certainly not what I want to do. Similar to the punch drunk predictions that we had earlier in the day, this isn't where I want to be. I don't like losing. I don't like not being at the numbers and at the returns that I want to be at. But this stuff is difficult. This is what I mean when I talked about it on the predictions. MMA to me, and I've watched sports my entire life. I've been around gambling my entire life, literally. MMA is the hardest thing I've ever come across to pick fights, to make wagers, to cash tickets, because you can have the right winner and there's so many other elements to it that you can bet on that just don't go your way. Through two events since returning here to Keyboard Kimura, down just shy of $800. Again, not where I want to be. But there were some good reads last week. Alex Morono with the finish. Matt Brown with the finish. Those were good. Those were good reads. Those were good cashes. I'm happy with those cashes. We want to build on those. Before we get to the picks, as always, I want to urge anyone watching that if you are struggling with problem gambling issues, please seek help. Speak to somebody. Check the show notes. We will have links to gambling resources, problem gambling resources in Canada, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Ireland available to you in the show notes, both here and on the Substack, where this will live in podcast form. This is meant to be fun. This is Monopoly money for me. It is numbers on a spreadsheet. I am not making these wagers in real life. My wife, I say it every week, but she would divorce me several times over if I was bouncing out the door, dropping $700-800 a weekend on UFC bets. It's meant to be additive. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be something that just, listen, if you're making real wagers, don't put in what you can't afford to lose. This is a very, very difficult thing to do. It is a tough racket. The adage of the house always wins is there because it is proven to be true. Are there people that can beat the game? Absolutely. I salute those folks. I want to be one of those folks when it comes to sitting here and giving you advice and giving you insights and making my selections. I would like to be cashing hypothetical tickets fist over fist and stacking up hypothetical stacks of cash every week. But if you are struggling, if it is something that is getting away from you, or you know someone that is having issues with it, please seek help. Resources available in the show notes. We want this to be fun. If it's not fun anymore, if it's not becoming fun, if it's becoming a problem, please address it. That is the more important thing in all of this. Which brings us to UFC Vegas 73. Saturday, UFC APEX. Prelims begin at 1 p.m. Pacific. Main card, I believe, is 3 p.m. Pacific. We start as we do every week. Well, I shouldn't say as we do every week, because there will be some weeks where we don't have a main event bet, but we do this week. And so we're just going to jump right into the bets. It is $50 on Angela Hill to win at plus 150, which would return $125. And it's also $50 on Angela Hill to win by decision at plus 210, which returns $115. So in total, it's $100 out on the main event, $125 back if Angela Hill gets a victory for a $25 profit, and $280 back if she wins by decision for a $180 profit. As I explained on the Punch Drunk Predictions, which is up now, great companion to this if you wanted to listen to both shows back to back or watch both shows back to back. Thank you very much. I think this is a fight where Angie Hill can go out, work behind her jab, work behind her high volume, varied striking approach, good footwork, good movement, great conditioning to get a victory over Mackenzie Dern, most likely, in my estimation, in my forecasting of this fight, on the scorecards. And so give me the underdog and give me, quite frankly, the plus 220 is bonkers to me on the Angela Hill side for a fight like this. She's not somebody that's going to go out there and finish you. Very seldom does it happen. And so if you want to give me greater than plus 200, there's a piece of me, and I'm not indulging that piece because that's one of those chasing that I don't need to do. But there's a piece of me that wants to just go even bigger on Hill by decision. I do think Mackenzie Dern can win this fight, and that's why I've laid off a little bit in terms of the overall spend. But when I look at this fight, as I've said sort of all week and twice today now, I just think there's less of a path to victory for Mackenzie Dern. There's so much of Mackenzie Dern that relies on if she gets it to the ground, if she gets into those grappling situations. She hasn't shown me anything yet, especially against this level of fighter, this level of competition, that says she's going to be able to go out there and get there without struggle and have success. Could she get Angela Hill down and have a couple rounds like she did against Yan Xiaonan, where she's successful in grappling? Sure, certainly. But overall, I think Angie Hill goes out and is able to win 3, if not 4 or 5 rounds with her striking on the feet. So give me the Hill money line at plus 150. Give me the Hill by decision. 100 out, 125 if she wins, 280 if she wins on the cards. That'd be a really nice way to close out Saturday's event. Co-main event, Edmund Shabazian and Anthony Hernandez. I like Fluffy. I'm going $50 on Hernandez to get a finish at plus 120, which returns $110. To me, this is a fight where if Hernandez wins, he's winning by stoppage. Edmund Shabazian has been finished in 2 of his 3 losses, I believe. I should go back and double check that. It might be all 3. This is a situation to me where I think Fluffy is ascending. I think we see the confidence growing. He's coming off his best performance yet against Marc-Andre Barrio, where he just came forward and it was a tidal wave of pressure and pace and volume, and he was able to get a finish there. I think he's going to be able to do something similar against Shabazian on Saturday. Edmund will have moments. There will be opportunities. He is a good young fighter, and he is still young. That is important to remember. But I just think that Hernandez is at a different point right now than Shabazian is. And there were elements of Edmund's last performance against Dolce Lungiambula that I didn't particularly like. Pair that with what we've seen from Hernandez over this 3-fight winning streak, and I just think he goes out and creates a way to get another finish. He's an excellent finisher, especially on the ground, especially when he gets into choke opportunities. He's not letting you get out of there. And we've seen Shabazian finished a couple of times now. So at plus 120 for a guy that's on a 3-fight winning streak where 2 of those are finishes, I like those odds. Sticking to main card fights and just working our way from the top down. The Emily Ducote Lupi Godinez fight. I told you on the Punch Drunk Predictions that I like Emily Ducote for a bunch of reasons. She's the one that was originally scheduled to fight here. I think she is the more diverse and varied striker in a fight that I think is going to be a kickboxing match. As such, $50 on Ducote on the money line, plus 130, returns 115, and $25 for Ducote to win by decision at plus 300, which returns $100. So I think she's going to win, and you're giving me an underdog. Taking it every day. Trying to be smart. Only $50. not trying to spend over and above anything that I really need to do, could I go out and raise the stakes of this? Sure, but it's a close fight. Lupi Godinez is a tough fighter. These two women are in that pack in the second 15 at strawweight and near the top of that second 15. Like if you told me they were in the 16 through 20 range, I'm not arguing with you. That's where they fit right now. They're both good. And so this is a close competitive fight. And so we keep it at a $50 wager, a $50 layout. But I think Ducote wins, and I'm getting plus money. So I'll take that. Again, similar to the main event, I think she wins by decision. And if you're giving me plus 300, I'm sitting here fighting all of my bad instincts and all of my poor traits and abilities to not raise the stakes on this. Because plus 300 is a huge number for a fighter that wins by decision more often than not in a division where we get decisions quite frequently and against an opponent who is tough to put away, who hasn't been finished yet in the UFC. I don't need to chase it because plus 300, it's already a great return, right? 25 out, 100 in if she wins on the scorecards. But it's a good number. And if there's anybody out there looking for a nice plus number to chase after this weekend, you could do a lot worse than Emily Ducote by decision at plus 300. So total for this fight, 75 out, 115 in if she wins. So $40 profit. 215 in if Ducote wins by decision, $140 profit. We're here just to try to make profits. We're here just to try to cash some tickets. Get above that number. Come out feeling happy heading into June. Go into a week off a winning, successful, profitable week. That's the aim. Continuing down, we're just running through this main card. Joaquin Buckley, Andre Fialho. I like Buckley, so we got some Buckley plays. $100 on Joaquin Buckley to finish at plus 105 would return 205, and then $100 on the fight lasting under 1.5 rounds at plus 100, which would return $200. I think this is a fight where these two guys are going to go out there and sling hands. And so worst case scenario, somebody's getting knocked out is my prediction. It's my forecast, is my analysis. And if that happens, we've got 200 out. And if it happens in under a round, under 1.5 rounds, we get 200 back and we break even. Certainly not what I want to do in betting. I don't necessarily, that's not necessarily the plan, but it's better than losing money. If Joaquin Buckley goes out and he finishes 200 out, 205 back, $5 profit. I can go across the street and pick up a Starbucks. Great. I'll take it. Sorry, Elliot Marshall, I occasionally pick up Starbucks. I know you want me to go and find better, but it's right there. And if Joaquin Buckley finishes in under 1.5 rounds, it's 200 out, 405 in, 205 profit. Those are the numbers I like more. I think these two go out there, stand on a dime, sling hammers, and somebody falls. My pick, my prediction, my forecast is that it is Andre Fialho that falls, that Joaquin Buckley finds his chin and gets a victory in his welterweight debut. We'll see if that comes through on Saturday. That's it for the main card wagers. Just one straight up play on the prelims, and that's the Karolina Kowalkiewicz Vanessa Demopoulos fight. This is the one where we went largest. This is the one where we went biggest outlay for the day in terms of single wagers. $200 on Kowalkiewicz to win at minus 138 returns 344.93, and $100 on Kowalkiewicz to win by decision at plus 105 returns 205. I just think the Polish veteran is significantly better than Vanessa Demopoulos, and it shows on Saturday, which is why I'm willing to pay the juice on the minus 138. It's a risk. It always is. Picking favorites is always tough because the returns aren't necessarily there. But minus 138 feels to me like a good enough number that getting in at a slightly higher wager makes a lot of sense. If I was just playing $5 and $10 plays, I probably stay away from this because the juice isn't worth the squeeze. But at $200 to get to make a $144.93 profit, that's solid to me. I would certainly love for it to be more, but I'll take that profit on a fighter that I think wins this fight 18 times out of 20, unless she has suddenly and inexplicably fallen off. Karolina Kowalkiewicz should win this fight. And so the tack on bet, the secondary wager here of Kowalkiewicz by decision, Vanessa Demopoulos is tough. She's scrappy. She's feisty. I don't think she goes away easy. Kowalkiewicz isn't somebody that's out here finishing fools left, right, and center. It's most likely going to be a 15-minute kickboxing fight. And so you give me plus money, you give me a chance to double up and then a little bit more. I'm going to take that every day. So in total on this fight, it's 300 out, 344.93 if Kowalkiewicz gets a victory. So $44.93 profit, still a profit. And if she wins by decision, $549.93 back for 300 out, a $249.93 profit. Much more enjoyable numbers. As always, with the betting show, we have to get to the punch drunk parlays. So every single week, I will take my picks on the main card, the prelims, and then of course the full card, and create some parlay bets. $10, put them all together, see if we can't cash some bigger tickets. So for this week, the main card parlay, Angela Hill, Anthony Hernandez, Emily Ducote, Joaquin Buckley, Michael Johnson. $10, combined odds of plus $2,659. Plus $2,659. Returns $275.91. It's a great number. There's a couple of underdogs in there that boost it up in Ducote and in Hill, Ducote, and Johnson. None of them are huge dogs, but it builds nicely. And you'll see that because on the prelims, the odds are actually lower despite there being more fighters. So on the prelims, we have Slava Borchev, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Orion Kosi, Rodrigo Nascimento, Natalia Silva, and Themba Gorimbo. $10 there. Combined odds of plus 2,479. Returns $257.87. So less of a return, lower odds for one additional fighter on the prelims. That is because Natalia Silva is a minus 1,000 favorite against Victoria Leonardo. Drags those numbers down, drags those cumulative odds down, makes it difficult, but we'll still see. And then we go the full card. Angie Hill, Anthony Hernandez, Emily Ducote, Joaquin Buckley, Michael Johnson, Slava Borchev, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Orion Kosi, Rodrigo Nascimento, Natalia Silva, Themba Gorimbo. $10, combined odds, plus 71,067. $10 returns $7,116.19. And Lord help me, if we connect on that one, we're coming back here, big smiles, all the one bone imaginable, even though it's theoretical money. That's the one where if it comes through, I'm wishing there was just $10 in my pocket that I put on that. Because that would be a real nice way to go into June and to wrap up the return to keyboard Kimura, is cashing a ticket like that. Before we get out of here, just so that we're clear on all the wagers for the week, UFC Vegas 73, $50 on Angie Hill money line at plus 150, $50 on Angie Hill by decision at plus 210, $50 on Fluffy Hernandez to get a finish at plus 120, $50 on Emily Ducote on the money line at plus 130, 25 on Ducote to win by decision at plus 300. I love that number. $100 on Joaquin Buckley to get a finish at plus 105. $100 for that fight with Andre Fialho to last under 1.5 rounds at plus 100. Double up opportunity, like that number as well. $50 on Michael Johnson on the money line. I don't think I mentioned that one. I think I left it out. Listen, I just think he's the more experienced, more active fighter in that fight with Diego Ferreira. I apologize for leaving that one out. this is one of those moments where I'm going to be kicking myself the rest of the day because I made a mistake in my show notes. But away we go. $200 on Karolina Kowalkiewicz on the money line at -138, our only favorite wager of the day. And $100 on Kowalkiewicz to win by decision at +105. The main card parlay, the prelim parlay, the full card parlay. Let's have some fun, folks. I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you enjoy the event on Saturday. I hope it has been a good week. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Shouts to the sponsors at One Bone. Check out the QR code for everything at the Substack. Subscribe for free for $5 a month, for $50 for a year. Whatever you do, I appreciate you. I'm glad to have you. I hope this stuff has been additive to your experience of getting ready for these fights. Enjoy them tomorrow. I will see you on Twitter. I will see you for the About Saturday's action and then the next day takeaways on Sunday. Love you. Appreciate you. Talk to you soon.